that we've reconvened with all members present. For those who are able, I invite you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing as we remember members of our Borough extended family and longtime Madison residents who we have lost over the last couple of weeks. First tonight, Frank Benedict. Longtime Madison resident, Frank passed away on June 27th at the age of 95. He was born in New Haven, Connecticut in 1929 and is survived by his wife Barbara and children Elizabeth, Mary Claire, and Andrew. He was predeceased by his son Edward. Frank began his long career at Bell Labs in Whippany in 1956, working on top secret projects for the U.S. government. As a Madison resident of 54 years, he served a term on Borough Council and 17 years on the Planning Board. Also recently passing is lifelong resident Tony Gioni, who passed away on June 28th at the age of 89. He is survived by his 4 sons, Anthony, John, Michael, and Stephen, as well as 5 grandchildren and many nieces and nephews. He was predeceased by his wife, Phyllis. He was an HVAC mechanic for 45 years and held numerous side jobs, including being a custodian at St. Vincent's Church for more than 50 years, and he also worked at C&J's Deli. He also served his community as a baseball coach and most notably as a volunteer firefighter in Madison since 1972, and was an active member of the Firemen's Relief Association and attended monthly volunteer meetings regularly until his passing. So this evening, let's take a moment to remember Frank and Tony and pass our thoughts and prayers on to those whom they leave behind. Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the executive minutes of June 10th, 2024?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion for the regular minutes of June 10th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Tonight, I'll be presiding over the council meeting as Mayor Conley takes some much-deserved time off. And just a few things tonight as we get going. Employees of the month for July are Russ Brown and Lou Amarato from the building department and mechanic Chris McDougall. These 3 employees went above and beyond to help a resident who is moving remove an accessible ramp and replace the former iron railing for safety. This included taking the ramp apart for storage and welding the railing section. Elsewhere in the borough, today we kicked off construction of the accessible playground project at Dodge Field. This project is fully funded by grants from the New Jersey DEP, Morris County, and the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. We expect completion of this project by the fall, and we'll probably hear a little bit more about it in one of the council liaison reports. Work also continues on phase 1 of the Cook Plaza parking lot. So we look forward to both of these projects being completed in the upcoming months. While these projects are disruptive in the short term, we're excited to see them completed and be able to reap their benefits from years to come. And lastly tonight, just as a scheduling reminder, we'll be holding our regular meeting schedule for July. So our next council meeting will be on July 22nd. We will, however, only hold one meeting in August, which is currently scheduled to be held on August 12th. So with that, we have no proclamations tonight. So we'll move right into reports from committees. From the police department tonight, the police department would like to remind residents that you can inform the Madison Police Department when you're going away or on vacation for an extended period, and while your house will be unoccupied. Please go to rosenet.org and type in vacation notice in the search tab where you can enter your information. The information will be forwarded to police dispatch and officers on patrol. For more information of this service, contact our main desk at 973-539-3000. 593-3000. And just a reminder that August 6th, we'll be hosting the annual night out in the center of town on Waverly Place, along with our law enforcement partners. This night is always a great event, and we look forward to seeing our residents and talking with them. There will be family fun events and great food along Waverly Place. There's also a scheduled flyover from the New Jersey State Police helicopter, and we hope to see everyone there, and you can get a feel of what the department does, speak to our officers, and hear about what services the Madison Police Department provide to our community. And from the fire department tonight, the month of June, the fire department responded to 200 calls. This includes 68 fire calls and 132 EMS calls. 89 people were transported to the hospital. The fire department has responded to 973 incidents so far this year. A couple of notable incidents: on June 5th, the fire department was requested to Chatham Borough for a second alarm fire at a restaurant on Main Street. On the 19th, the fire department was requested to Frederick Place in Morris Township for a second alarm residential fire. On June 27th, the fire department was requested to Jefferson Road in Hanover for a second alarm fire in a commercial building. And last week, on July 2nd, a fire was reported at Burger King at 317 Main Street. First arriving firefighters from Madison found a fire in the kitchen that had extended into the cooking ventilation system. A second alarm was struck, bringing neighboring fire departments to assist. The fire was quickly brought under control, minimizing the damage. However, the restaurant will remain closed until cleared to reopen by the building and health departments. And that is all from public safety tonight. So with that, Finance and Borough Clerk, Councilwoman Ehrlich.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. The tax collector reports that the state of New Jersey has passed their state budget. Our municipal state aid has been confirmed, and the county has certified the tax rate. With that information, we have everything needed to create and mail out the quarterly tax bills for the third and fourth quarter of 2024, and for the first and second quarter of 2025. The bills will be mailed out next week. As a reminder, third quarter tax payments have a due date of August 1st, but there is a grace period where payments will not receive any penalties if they are received in the office by 4:30 p.m. on August 12th. Please visit rosenet.org or contact the collector's office if you have any questions about your tax bill. The Finance Department reports that the municipal budget audit has been completed and can be found in the Finance Department section of Rosenet. The consent agenda at the end of this meeting includes voting on Resolution 188-2024. This pertains to the council accepting the findings of the 2024 audit. This resolution is required by state statute, and it certifies that each of the elected officials has received the audit. The state also requires that the chief financial officer prepare a corrective action plan after the audit is completed. The corrective action plan is in response to recommendations that are made in the audit, and there will be a short discussion on the plan this evening. There was one small comment, which is a repeating one from years past, regarding the segregation of duties, which we'll hear more about. It is important to be transparent and take the time to discuss the audit and the corrective action plan in public. Fortunately, the borough does not have any significant audit issues. Many thanks to the members of the Audit Committee for their support and help with this process, and thanks to our Chief Financial Officer, Jim, for leading the way on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works and Engineering, Mr. Landrigan.
Thank you. The utility building roof construction has commenced. It commenced on March 22nd. The main roof is complete. Helena Ruman Architects is reviewing submittals and progress payments. Project is nearing completion. Ancillary items such as louvers and finishes to be completed. The library interior contract with Dasco LLC. The architect is reviewing submittals and invoices. The library staff has relocated to temporary trailer. Work is progressing well. Construction work is approximately 95% complete. Furnishings and restocking the library materials will take some time. Anticipated reopening in the fall. Upcoming projects: mill and overlay. Project contracted through the Morris County Cooperative Purchase Council. Roads to be done are Knollwood, Longview, and Valley Road. Summer construction. Partial curb reconstruction on Knollwood has been rescheduled for the end of July. Milling and overlay to take place soon after. And as was mentioned before, the Cook Avenue parking lot, DLS Contracting has commenced construction Electric Department coordinated with contractor and is performing their portion of the underground work. And again, the Dodge Field Playground, the project has commenced construction today. The project is fully funded through several grants. The project has an approximate 3-month construction timeline. And finally, the MRC Solar Carport. Bids for this project were received June 13th. Project is on tonight's agenda for award to Bullet Electric of North Arlington in the amount of $1,998,500. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Utilities, Mr. Hanlon Putis.
Thank you, Councilman Range. Hello, everybody. Oh, sorry about that. From the electric utility, I was at the next council meeting on July 22nd. We'll be approving a 1-year extension of the contract with Seal Energy to perform residential home energy audits at reduced rates for Madison residents. I think it's been welcomed by a lot of the community in the past. During a recent weather event, there was an electric service outage affecting many residents caused by a JCP&L feeder line issue. Power was restored quickly, and the borough was able to offer our crews to assist power restoration in neighboring towns, including our sewer processing facility on Passaic Avenue in Chatham Borough. For the water utility, the biggest issue is keeping up with the demand for water during this hot spell with daily heat advisories from the National Weather Service. The borough has 5 wells that supply all of our water. During the summer months, we're pumping over 3 million gallons per day. NJDEP issues permits that limit the pumping capacity for each well. So the water division staff does an excellent job rotating which wells are activated to avoid stressing the distribution system per minute. Currently, well B, which has been under renovation now for quite some time, is undergoing reconstruction, continues to undergo reconstruction, and its pumping capacity, which has started, has been reduced to 700 gallons per minute. Ideally, it should be 1,100 gallons per minute, according to the the water utility managers. On tonight's agenda is a contract with Subsurface Technologies to perform a specialized chemical cleaning scrubbing of the well to hopefully increase capacity to over 1,000 gallons per minute. This technique has been used successfully in other communities, and our consultants have recommended this approach. Lastly, Madison filed a legal claim today, along with hundreds of other towns around the country, against 3M regarding a class of chemicals known as PFAS, which have the ability to contaminate our underground water supply. These chemicals have actually been banned in most states for use in a lot of the products that we use daily. So Bob said something already about the solar carport, so I just had a little bit to add. You know that the council passed in the electric utility budget, there was included an additional $900,000 for the reserve for sustainability projects. And tonight the council will introduce ordinance 21-2024, which appropriates those funds for the MRC solar carport for the company that was just awarded the contract. With this, no borrowing will be needed, and the borough will be able to fully fund the $2 million MRC solar carport project with electric utility monies. Once the project is completed, we anticipate receiving a significant payment from the federal government of approximately $600,000. Over the next 15 years, we expect to receive close to $1.5 million in funds from the state of New Jersey's Solar Renewable Energy Credit, or SREC program. Those funds will replenish the sustainability reserve so they can be dedicated to future projects. Thank you.
Community Affairs, Ms. Honahan.
Yes, the Downtown Development Commission has been very successful at the Madison Farm and Artisan Market. Thank you to Lisa Ellis and her band of interns for making that happen. It's been excellent, and every Saturday I encourage you to go down to meet the new vendors. It's open from 9 until 2 on Saturdays. Planning is underway for Bottle Hill Day on the 5th of October, and important information can be found on Rosenet. The Downtown Development Commission will meet on July 18th at 7:15 in Hartley Dodge. That meeting is open to the public. The Chamber of Commerce will have a meeting tomorrow evening and a breakfast get-together in the morning. The Madison Arts Center will continue to hold its monthly open mic. The next one is July 10th. Summer Outdoors Concert Series, there will be on Friday, June 12th, a special dance theater production. And all of the events for the arts can be found on the MCAC landing page. One other note of interest is that on July 13th, our Parks Committee will be holding a public input day, so I encourage you to go out and see them at each of the parks that they'll be in. There are 4 different sites. And a special thank you to Corporal Duraco and Captain Joe Longo, along with Ray, for helping get the crosswalks painted on Park Avenue very quickly. So thank you.
Thank you. And Health, Mr. Forte.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. From the Health Department is offering free adult vaccinations for those 19 and over at the Hartley Dodge Memorial on July 18th. Residents must be either non-insured or underinsured. To make an appointment, please visit www.westfieldnj.gov/health. The Health Department would also like to remind residents to continue to use insect repellent when traveling to areas where mosquito-borne illness such as malaria and dengue fever are endemic, as there has been an increase in the number of travel-associated dengue fever reported this summer. The Health Department would also like to remind residents that respiratory illness such as COVID and other viruses can surge in the summer months due to new variants and indoor gatherings such as weddings and graduation parties. If you feel like you may be getting sick, please stay home until you start to feel better and you're fever-free for 24 hours and take added precautions like masking while around others, especially those who are at high risk. If you are at higher risk for complications, please contact your healthcare provider for more guidance. Thank you.
Thank you. Communications and petitions.
Yes, Mayor. The Mayor and Council received an email dated July the 8th from Mayor Mike Gazzali of Montvale regarding affordable housing litigation.
Now we will have our first invitation for public comment. In this round, you are permitted to ask questions or make comments on any of our discussion items on the agenda or the resolutions on the consent agenda. There'll be another invitation for discussion later in the meeting for any other subject. We'll give you 3 minutes and a 1-minute grace period, but do your best to keep your comments to 3 minutes tonight. We've got on our agenda discussions tonight are a grant application and endorsement for HQM, an update on a filming ordinance for permit requests, and that was referenced earlier, the 2023 municipal audit and corrective action plan. We also have a number of resolutions on the consent agenda tonight, and you can comment on any of these. Resolution authorizing appointments of Bruce Barrios, Tom Boyland, and Evan Webb as lieutenants in the Madison Fire Department. Resolution 187, approving an hourly rate increase for special law enforcement officers in the Madison Police Department. Resolution 188, resolution of the Borough of Madison accepting the 2023 audit. Resolution 189, resolution of the Borough of Madison approving the 2023 corrective action plan report for the audit. Resolution 190, renewing the 2024-2025 liquor license in the borough granted to Sagar Beverages, LLC. Resolution 191, resolution authorizing establishment of a $100 change fund for use at the Madison Community Arts Center. Resolution 192, approving Jacob Henry Perkins Trust disbursement. Resolution 193, resolution of the Borough of Madison approving film permit for independent film titled No Limits. Resolution 194, resolution ratifying the appointment of Leo Tamalakian as a part-time unpaid intern for the Borough of Madison. Resolution 195, a resolution of the Borough of Madison authorizing purchase of a vehicle and accessories for the Madison Police Department through the New Jersey Contract Program. Resolution 196, resolution authorizing execution of termination and removal of deed restriction for a property located at 143 Main Street. Resolution 197, ratifying the award of a purchase order contract for the purchase of video cameras and recording equipment to Johnson Communications of Springfield, New Jersey under the Union County Cooperative Pricing Program. 198, ratifying approval of the Madison-Chatham joint meeting agenda items from the June 17th, 2024 joint meeting. Resolution 199, authorizing the submission of a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for Dogwood Drive, East Street, and Harwood Drive road improvements projects. Resolution 200, authorizing the purchase of a vehicle and accessories for the Madison Fire Department through the New Jersey Contract Program. Resolution 201, resolution of the Borough of Madison confirming membership of Clayton Schrum in the Madison Hook and Ladder Company No. 1. Resolution 202, resolution confirming membership of Albert Giugiano in the Madison Hook and Ladder Company No. 1. Resolution 203, resolution supporting Revolution, New Jersey. Resolution 204, ratifying the appointment of intern Brandon Uria as part-time unpaid intern for the fire department. Resolution 205, resolution of the Borough of Madison authorizing application to the 2024 County of Morris Home Investment Partnership Program by HQM Properties. Resolution 206, authorizing an agreement between the Borough Madison Police Department and the Mental Health Association to continue participation in the Arrive Together program. Resolution 207, resolution of the Borough of Madison authorizing change order to Joseph Doherty Roofing Company for the utility building roof repairs project. Resolution 208, approving raffles license application submitted by the Thursday Morning Club. Resolution 209, approving raffles license application submitted by the Madison Rotary Club Foundation. Resolution 210, ratifying a contract for purchase of Microsoft Office licenses to SCHI International Corporation under state contract in the amount of $49,255.65. Resolution 211, requesting the Director of Local Government Services to approve the insertion of an item of revenue in the budget for the year 2024. Resolution 212, requesting the Director of Local Government Services to approve the insertion of an item of revenue in the budget for the fiscal year 2024. Resolution 213, resolution of the Borough of Madison awarding contract to Bullet Electric, Inc. for Madison Recreation Complex Solar Carport rebid. Resolution 214, awarding a contract for preventative maintenance and repair, testing, and inspection services to Ashflucht Electrical Testing, LLC. And Resolution 215, resolution of the Borough of Madison amending the award of the contract to Ben Schaefer Recreation, Inc. of Lake Hopatcong, New Jersey for surfacing installation at the 2023 Accessible Playground Project. And Resolution 216, a resolution of the Borough of Madison awarding professional services contract to Subsurface Technologies for extraordinary unspecifiable services related to the WellBe cleaning. And you can comment on any of those. Anyone wishing to comment at this time? Okay, seeing none, I close this portion of the meeting. Mr. Cody. HQM grant application endorsement?
Yep. HQM is an affordable housing developer that primarily works in Madison. It was formerly known as the Madison Affordable Housing Corp. Councilman Harold Lapudis is an active member of that organization. What's pending here is a request to support a $400,000 grant application to Morris County Home Program for a project that they're undertaking that they just received zoning approval from the Board of Adjustment at 30 Central Avenue to build 6 units of affordable housing. There's no matching requirement by the borough as part of the grant, although we did pay the light bill, I guess. So we're recommending that the council support this and endorse it as a condition of the grant requirements for the county, that the governing body pass a resolution supporting the grant application, and we ask you to do that tonight by resolution 205-2024.
Any questions or comments from the council? Okay, then that is part of our consent agenda. As Ray mentioned, Resolution 205. Lisa, if you'd like to come up, Lisa Ellis, on the filming ordinance.
You all received a copy of the new ordinance. I've been working with the New Jersey Motion Picture and TV Commission on receiving New Jersey Film Ready certification for Madison. As part of that, one of the steps was fixing our current ordinance so that it matches the template that the commission recommends. But went a little further than that and was able to research a lot of other local ordinances who have already been certified and modeled the new ordinance after that. So it meets both our needs and those of the commission. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them. It's pretty straightforward, and it'll get us one step closer to this certification, which I think will be a phenomenal thing for Madison. We will be, hopefully we'll get in the next tranche, which is everything has to be in by August 1st. We're cutting it a little close, but I think we should be able to make it. And I've also been working with J.P. Robinson of Awakened Films, who's been a tremendous asset to us. As one of the other steps is to upload photographs of locations, public locations in Madison. And his photographs are far better than mine, and he's done a great job. Can send you all the link so that you can check some of that out on the commission website. Does anybody have any questions on the ordinance?
Questions or comments for Tom?
Thank you. So, Lisa, does this mean that any movie production company or somebody who wants to do a promotional shoot, they can just come to the borough and make an application, or do you have to approve them and see what the purpose is and what they'll be doing in town? Or do they just get now?
No, it's not. It's still the same process. You have to come in and file an application. That application, once the ordinance is passed, will be updated to reflect the new ordinance and the new fees and such. We have the ability, or actually the administrator has the ability, to turn anybody away based on concerns about what is involved in that filming. But it's actually, the process is not different than it has been for all these many years. And as you may or may not know, a lot of filming has been done in Madison over the years. I mean, it's the most beautiful place on earth, so I think, more in a controlled way would be a great thing. And
Encourages more.
We're encouraging, yes, for sure. And it encourages small independent filmmakers, the way it's written, rather than the big studios. You can see that in the fee structure, where, it's definitely different. And to that note, I've also, as part of all the stuff I sent you this week, was the request to waive the fees for the independent filmmaker who's here tonight, Joy Soprano, who lives in Madison. Great story. I hope you had a chance to read the deck. Great story, great film. It'll be a great thing for Madison, and I'm hoping you can support the waiver of those fees as well. Any other questions?
Questions, comments from the council? Okay. Seeing none, thank you, Lisa. And we've got the updated ordinance 23-2024 listed for introduction tonight, and resolution 193 on the consent agenda. And lastly this evening, Mr. Burnett.
Thank you, Mr. President. As Councilwoman Ehrlich explained, we have Resolution 188, which is accepting the audit, and there is a certification that the council has all seen and needs to execute, or Liz will get fined $10 a day for not submitting it to the state. $10, that's what the fine is. Officially statute fine to Liz of $10. So anyway, we'll make sure we get it in, Liz, don't worry. The audit was produced, it's online. I have bound copies for you, suitable for signature if you want. Every year we discuss the audit, and it was a very clean audit. It was reviewed by the audit committee. They had excellent comments and suggestions during the draft process. It was finalized by our auditor in Savaccia, and there is only one item that was a comment in it, and it is the very familiar segregation of duties comment, which states that we don't have enough staff to segregate out certain functions. Primarily, it has to do with the collection of cash by the same department that would issue an item. They may issue a license at the construction department or issue an OPA request, satisfying an OPA request at the police department, or a license at the health department. The challenge is that we do not, and you've heard this before, we do not have one central location for all of our operations. Therefore, we cannot have a central cashier. The solution for this would be that someone would go to the construction department and they would say, oh, you owe $827. They would give them a ticket. You'd go down to a central cash window, pay that, and then come back with a, hey, I've paid it, and they would give you the permits. That's just not feasible. To be honest with you, the vast majority of payments we're getting now are online and our credit card, so it's much easier to track and to verify and to reconcile. So because of that, and because of the fact that we have departments like the police department in a whole nother building, it just doesn't make any financial sense. So the corrective action plan discusses that finding of the adequate segregation of duties and answers it the same way we answered it last year, that the only solution is deemed too inconvenient and not an appropriate move that management states. So to that end, the corrective action plan you would be voting on is Resolution 189-2024. Those are the two ministerial actions that administration is asking that you to take this evening, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Questions or comments for Jim? Thank you very much. Moving on to ordinances for hearing. Will the clerk read the statement?
The ordinances scheduled for hearing were introduced by title and passed at the first reading at a regular meeting of the council held on June the 10th, 2024. They were posted and filed according to law, and copies were made available to the general public requesting same.
Call up the ordinances for second reading and ask the clerk to read said ordinance by title.
Ordinance 19-2024, ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending ordinance 56-2023, which appropriated $125,000 from the Municipal Open Space Recreation and Historic Preservation Trust regarding the Madison Masonic Lodge, 170 Main Street.
This time I open the hearing for anyone who would like to comment. All right, seeing none, I close the hearing. We have a motion for ordinance 19-2024.
Yes, I'll move ordinance 19.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan Putis?
Yes.
Ms. Honahan?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
Declare the ordinance adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. Ordinance 20-2024.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $105,000 from the General Capital Improvement Fund for the purchase of a 2022 Horton ambulance.
Time I open the hearing. Anyone wishing to comment on this ordinance? Seeing none, I close this hearing.
I move ordinance 20-2024.
Second.
Any council discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan Putis?
Yes.
Ms. Honahan?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
Declare the ordinance 20-2024 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file in the ordinance in accordance with the law. Next up is our next invitation for comment from the public. At this time, you can comment on any topic. Again, please keep your comments to 3 minutes with a 1-minute grace period. Anyone wishing to be heard, come up to the lectern. I think that's you.
I'm going to sign in and be official. My name is Mary Jane Lunt. I live at 10 Highview Terrace. I've lived there for almost 38 years. I can't believe it, but it's true. And guess what? I'm here to talk about the Drew Forest, if anyone didn't guess. And it's just going to be a few comments and that it certainly is pertinent today, given the fact that here we are in July, temperatures are getting close to 100 degrees, and if you're not in the shade, boy, do you know you're close to that. And that's the comments I would just like to say is that trees are so essential to making a municipality, certainly our borough, a more livable space. There have been studies done that say that a forest has a 14-degree difference between that than an open landscape or a street with lawns and trees, street trees, and not a forest. And so when we look at the treasure that we have, all you have to do is go for a walk, because I did today. It was lovely. It was, I don't know, I didn't have a thermometer with me, but my guess is it was at least 10 degrees different from what it was on Highview Terrace. So I want to thank you for supporting saving the Drew Forest, and knowing that not only will we be saving the bunnies and the bats, their place to live, but we will also be endorsing an incredible enormous value for shade and the difference in temperature and what have you. So take a walk. It's fun. That's it. And I'll sign it in.
Anyone else wishing to be heard this evening? Seeing none, I close this portion of the meeting. This evening we have several ordinances for introduction. Can I have the clerk read the statement, please?
The ordinance is scheduled for first reading, have a hearing date set for July the 22nd, 2024. All will be published in the Madison Eagle, posted on the bulletin board, and made available to members of the public requesting copies.
Call up ordinances for first reading and ask the clerk to read said ordinances by title. Ordinance 21-2024.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $900,000 from the Electric Utility Capital Fund Reserve for sustainability projects to partially fund the MRC solar carport project.
Move ordinance 21-2024.
Second.
Any comments or discussion from council? Thomas.
Oh, I just want to comment that kudos to Jim Burnett and Dr. Freed. Rachel, you were very involved to get this to the point where we're going to make this happen. I remember, and I messaged Jim today in 2010 when I was on the Environmental Commission. We started talking about it, and I was trying to show him the feasibility of what we could do if we put solar in the borough. So we missed a few years of saving some money on making electricity, but now it's going to happen, and you're going to hopefully get money to pay for the installation, and it'll be the first of many, right? Once we trial and test this one out. Thanks, Jim and Rachel.
Yeah, I'll just add that it's a pleasure to finally introduce this ordinance. We've been putting money away for this type of project since 2020, which was the first year that we earmarked money for this line sustainability projects in the municipal budget. So it's been a couple of years in the planning and the making, as you say. And the fact that we have a contractor lined up and we're appropriating these funds is an exciting milestone for this project. So let's go.
Fantastic. Any other comments or questions, discussion? All right, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Hurlick?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Harold Pudes?
Yes.
Ms. Honahan?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
Ordinance 22-2024.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending this and supplementing Chapter 176 of the Borough Code entitled Towing and Storage, and repealing and replacing the towing operator application form.
Move ordinance 22-2024.
Second?
Any comments or discussion from council? None? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan Putis?
Yes.
Ms. Honahan?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
Ordinance 23-2024.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending and supplementing Chapter 98 of the Borough Code entitled Filming, and repealing and replacing the filming application form.
Oh, motion.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments or discussion? Seeing none?
Oh, yeah, I have some.
Oh, sorry, Tom.
I wanted to comment, I just reread what was in our packet about the actual movie that's going to be filmed in the borough and casted with some people from the borough, so that's fantastic to see that that's part of this.
It's actually
Technically,
the consent agenda resolution, but yeah.
Ah, well, this is still leading into it. All right, then I'll have to talk about it again later.
Any further discussion?
just a thank you to Lisa Ellis for making Madison part of the NJ Film Ready. Is that the program? The fact that you've been keeping up with the new standards and moving Madison along to achieve that certification is great. Thank you for doing that.
Any other discussion from council? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan Putis?
Yes.
Ms. Honahan?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
Ordinance 24-2024.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $80,000 from the General Capital Improvement Fund for the purchase of a truck and accessories for the Department of Public Works.
I move ordinance 24-2024.
Second.
Council discussion?
So if I'm correct, Jim, it's a hybrid truck, so no, this is not a hybrid.
There's
Another one? Okay. Sorry about that. Right? Elaborate.
Ken O'Brien did some research, and for the use that the vehicle will be used for at DPW, the technology has not caught up yet in terms of a fully electric vehicle for the purpose of the vehicle. So right now, although we know the priority of the governing body is for all electric vehicles where possible, it was not possible in this situation. We have the same issue with the fire vehicle. We met with the fire chief regarding that, and again, stressed a hybrid or an all-electric vehicle, and that he felt the needs of that vehicle could not be accommodated currently with the technology that's available.
So then we're just gonna have to have this as part of our fleet for a while, in lieu of maybe waiting a year or two. I wasn't involved in the decision making, that's why I'm asking some questions.
Yeah, no,
Pushing that.
that's it.
Yeah.
The goal is to replace our entire gas-powered fleet with all-electric or hybrid vehicles. The police would be the one exception in terms of the all-electric versus the hybrid, but we understand the priority of the governing body for that purpose.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan Putis?
Yes.
Ms. Honahan?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
Ordinance 25-2024.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $695,000 from the Reserve for Electric Utility Substation Fund for the electric substation repairs and improvements.
Do I have a motion for 25-2024?
I'll move ordinance 25.
Second?
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan Putis?
Yes.
Ms. Honahan?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. Can the clerk read the statement, please?
The consent agenda resolutions will be enacted with a single motion. Any resolution requiring expenditure is supported by a Certification of availability of funds. Any resolution requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. All resolutions will be reflected in full in the minutes.
Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
I move consent agenda items, resolutions R186 through R216, 2024.
Second?
Any that need to be pulled or discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Raines?
Yes.
Mr. Harlan-Pudis?
Yes.
Ms. Monahan?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
Okay. Unfinished business. There is no unfinished business. Can I have the clerk read vouchers?
Okay, from the current fund, we have $4,559,480.33. From the general capital fund, $153,341.12. From the electric operating fund, $626,971.49. From the water operating fund, $65,984.81. From the water capital fund, $10,950 even. And from the trust, $1,224,713.19. The total is $6,641,441.94.
I move approval of the vouchers.
Second it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Under new business, we have a appointment from the mayor. Ray, correct me if I'm wrong, this does not require council open space? Oh, it does. Okay. So this one requires council consent. So this is for Leslie McDonald, Greenwood Avenue, regular member to the Open Space, Recreation, and Historic Preservation Advisory Committee through December 31st, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve the foregoing appointment?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Forte.
Mr. President, I move to adjourn.